I am here to show you how to do a sunflower like I did on my nails today. I've had a lot of people request, and it's pretty simple. This is my very first tutorial and video of anything, so bear with me. I used Glorious, but I'm doing it on a swatch with Amalfi Coast. I buy these from Walmart, 50 cents. This one's apricot, brown oxide, and bright yellow. So I have put my first coat of number 2 on, and I'm going to pretend that I fouled and buffed, but I don't do that on swatch sticks. I buy these tools. I got them many years ago from Sally's. I'm sure you can get them off of Amazon a lot cheaper. And I'm going to start with this little tool, and I'm going to dip it into the brown. And I'm just going to draw a circle right here on the edge of my nail and fill it in. Just like that. I just wipe that off on the corner of my towel. I'm going to use that same one in the orange apricot. And I'm going to make little circles along the outside of that. Try to make them all the same size, but it doesn't matter. All flowers are different. I'm going to have to wait. No. I got one more thing to do. I'm going to take my skinny one here. It like has no point at all on it. And I'm going to make a little triangle at the end of each one of those balls with the same color apricot. I'm just going to make a point on the end of each one of those petals. You can actually leave the flower with just the ball. It's kind of cute, but if you want the sunflower look, you need to have a pointed petal. So I just added a little triangle to the point, to the circle. I'm going to put this on pause for a second, and I'll let you know how long that takes to dry. But this needs to dry completely. It'll take a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. That took about 3 minutes, and I admit I went out into the sun and let it dry. There was a little extra bubble of orange on there that I dabbed with my finger to get it off so it wouldn't take so long, because we're going to cover that with yellow anyway. So I'm going to use that same tool and grab my yellow, my bright yellow, and pretty much go right over top of the orange and just leave a small edge, a small border of orange showing, and just cover the rest of the orange with the yellow. And the thinner you keep these, the less it'll take to dry. And you want to cover most of that orange up. let that dry a little bit, and while that's drying, I'm going to go back to my apricot and take my skinny tool again and just put a couple of little tiny dots around this brown. Don't dry too long. Tiny, tiny little dots. They're in the center. And then when the yellow dries, I'm going to take a little bit of the orange and put just a little dot right here. And again, that's the apricot. Right there. And there is your sunflower. Now you need to let that again dry completely. And I'll be back. Okay, so now this is completely dry. That took another 2 minutes. And I'm going to take my number 2. I'm going to apply my second number 2 on here. And if you notice, when you touch this, it kind of spreads. So I don't do, I mean, you can do a lot on this part, but when you get to the pattern, just barely touch it with the side of your brush. I don't want any chances of that smearing. And then I need to wait my 2 minutes before I put on my number 3. Okay, so it's been my 2 minutes. I'm going to take my towel, and I would normally like rub this all over it, all over my finger. But with the picture on there, I'm going to just dab it. Hold it on there. Again, I don't want to have to smear it and rub it. Now with my number 3, I'm just going to lightly, there's going to be a small bubble on my brush, and I'm just going to lightly lay this over top. 1, 2, 3, and wipe my brush off. I'm going to wait until I just barely see the shine go away. Normally I would do all 5 of my fingers, and when I get back to my thumb, it would be dry enough. But being that I just have one here, I have to imagine that I'm doing my other 4 fingers. And you'll see the shine start to go away. And these are the same steps that I would do if I were putting on a decal or a stamp. I apply everything in between my 2 number 2 steps. Okay, the shine is just about gone, so I'm going to put on my second coat, where I can take my time, just float that on there, make it nice and shiny. Cap my end. Cap your ends with your number 1 or with your number 2 and your number 3. And then when I'm done with my number 3 bottles, I take a small paper towel and I wipe the top of that bottle off. And there you go. Now, if you have any other questions, you can message me. I'll be happy to explain anything more better that you didn't understand. And thank you for watching.